Sometimes in life, certain people have advantages over others. You know what they say, life isn't fair. I think it's common knowledge and everybody knows this. Life isn't fair. Nowadays, especially if you're a girl, you can be famous because of your looks. We can also apply what we just talked about to sports. In baseball and football, for the most part, it does play a little factor, but not as much as basketball. Your height and weight, it doesn't really matter. In football, we see it all the time. It doesn't matter if you're 5'5" or 6'5". There's going to be a spot for you if you're good. The same thing can be applied to baseball, and you could also make a legit case and argument that if you're shorter in baseball, it might even be easier. Because when you're batting, your strike zone's a little smaller, but that's a different conversation for a different day. However, basketball is slightly different. And out of every sport, it might just be the one that is the most unfair. I want you to really think about this. You could be the hardest worker out there, perfect your shot, do this, do that, but if you're 5'3", 5'4", or even 5'5", the chances of you making it to the NBA is slim to none. Not every basketball player, but most basketball players under 6 foot is a liability on defense. It doesn't matter how good their offense is, it doesn't make up for their defensive liabilities. We're accustomed and almost used to seeing in 2022 point guards that are all the way up to 6'7", and even LeBron does it at 6'9". And right now, we're just talking about your size. We haven't even gotten to the other things that also play a major factor. The main character and subject of this video is Zaire Wade, aka Dwyane Wade's son. He's had a very odd basketball career, and it's been odd for the past 4 to 5 years. With that being said, like we talked about earlier, he has a big advantage, not just to his basketball career, but to his life. And that advantage I'm referring to is that he's Dwyane Wade's son. Being the son of a MLB, NBA, or NFL player is going to help you in your career as well. Why is it going to help you? Because if you're also trying to get to the big leagues or even just college, you're going to get a lot of attention. It's the same thing we talked about in yesterday's video with LeBron's son, aka Bronny. Whether Bronny's great at basketball or whether he's terrible at basketball, it didn't matter because people are going to watch him play anyways, and they're going to offer him scholarships because he's LeBron's son. But here's the thing with that. Nobody really questions Bronny and the hype around him because if you watch him play, you can see he's easily talented and he's got a lot of potential. On the other hand, the guy we're going to talk about in this video, Zaire Wade, I feel like he got lost in Bronny's shadow at Sierra Canyon. For those of you that don't know, ironically enough, Bronny, the son of LeBron, Zaire Wade, the son of Dwyane Wade, both of their kids, they went to the same high school, Sierra Canyon. I remember when it was announced that Zaire and Bronny were going to go to the same school, and everybody immediately thought, oh, this is going to be a dynamic duo just like their dads, and that didn't happen. When they teamed up at Sierra Canyon, Zaire was a senior and Bronny was a freshman, yet Bronny still outperformed him and got way more attention. How do I say this nicely? The entire Zaire Wade stint at Sierra Canyon, it was pitiful. Overall, it was a terrible experience, and even Dwyane Wade was throwing shots at the coaching staff and the head coach. If you don't know what went on, it happened 2 years ago, and I'm sure some of you remember me talking about it, but if you don't, I'll bring it up again. I'm summing this up real quick. If you want to find out more about it, you can go see a previous video, but to make an extremely long story short, early in the season, Zaire Wade was supposed to be a starter. There was a lot of hype around him, but unfortunately he got hurt. When he got hurt, it was an ankle injury, and he was supposed to only be out for 4 to 6 weeks. Next thing you know, those 4 weeks, it turns into 12 weeks, and then 12 weeks turn into 16 weeks. Eventually, he got cleared to play, but it was so late in the season, and they were like 25-1 or maybe undefeated, and the coaching staff didn't know where to plug him in. It was a difficult situation because you know Zaire can play, but you also don't want to fix what's not broke. And it's not like Zaire was this big-time star that you knew would make the team better. The head coaches really didn't know if he was going to either help them or hurt them. And whenever you're rolling, like I said, if it's not broke, why would you even try to fix it? They were doing just fine without him, and with the playoffs coming up, it left the coach in a tough spot. Do I bench one of my starters who's playing good, or do I put Zaire on the bench? They wound up making him a bench player, and he wasn't even the 6th or 7th man. He was only playing maybe 5 to 6 minutes per game. Obviously, he was mad, and obviously his dad was mad, but what do you expect? Not even a regular dad is going to be okay with their son sitting on the bench, yet alone Dwyane Wade. That entire mess situation, whatever you want to call it, it went on and they parted their ways. Remember, this was his senior year. This was supposed to be a breakout year where he picks up more offers and maybe boosts his ranking a little, and none of that happened. He barely played his senior year, and even though he's Dwyane Wade's son, it wasn't a good look. It's not even close to being the same, but you could somewhat compare it to the Kyrie Walker situation. A lot of NBA teams were scared to draft Kyrie because he hasn't played legit competitive basketball in over 2 to 3 years. On the other hand, for Zaire, his situation was almost just as strange. He was listed as a 3-star recruit, yet he didn't have a lot of those big-time offers. These are his best, and I'm going to repeat, his best offers coming out of high school. Nebraska, DePaul, hold on, let me find the other one, I missed it. Oh, right here, Toledo and Rhode Island. That was coming out of high school his senior year, and I don't want to say he had a big ego, but I don't think he'd be comfortable with going to a low D1 school. That's not his style. We're talking about Dwyane Wade's son. Obviously, he's going to have a little ego to him. So what happened after high school is instead of going to a college D1, D2 school, he wound up doing another year of high school basketball, which is a prep academy, and he went to Brewster. I don't want to get into this whole debate about prep schools. I do understand it, yet I don't. It doesn't make sense that after your 12th grade, which is when everybody graduates, you can go and play another year of high school basketball. Here's my take on that. Yeah, it may benefit some players and help them get some more offers, but if you're not good enough and where you want to be after your senior year of high school basketball, I think you should call it quits. Don't get me wrong, the prep school, it does work for some players, but I'd say 85 to 90%, you're not going to get that offer you're looking for. I think a lot of these kids that go to these prep academies, just like Brewster for Zaire, they think if they go there, they're going to get an offer from Duke, when in reality, if Duke wanted you, they would have recruited you out of high school. I don't want to get too caught up into that. Let's get a move on. Whoa, hold on. Before we get a move on, I almost forgot to bring this up. It goes hand in hand with what we just talked about. After playing for Brewster Academy, I mean, he wasn't nothing special. He was okay. He got one major D1 offer, and that was from South Carolina in on April 9th in 2021. Up until that point, that was his best D1 offer, and there was a lot of rumors going on where many people thought he'd go there. We're now in the time frame of 2021, so we're starting to get caught up back into our current date. After he got done playing for his prep school, Brewster Academy, the rumors were that he was either going to A, go to South Carolina, B, go to the NBL, which is the Overseas League, or C, he could go to the NBA G League. Instead of choosing the college or the overseas route, he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the NBA G League draft, where he got drafted by the Utah Jazz. Why is that important? Because his dad, Dwyane Wade, owns the team. A little fishy if you gotta ask me. No, it's not fishy. It's fairly obvious. His dad wanted to pick him. There's no other way to say it. The only reason the Utah Jazz selected him for their G League team is because of Dwyane Wade. If you disagree with that statement, I hate to inform you, you just don't know what you're talking about and you're missing out on reality. Open your eyes. You had a guy who didn't play that much as a senior in high school, and then after that senior year, he goes to a prep school, wasn't really a standout. He skips college basketball and goes straight to the G League. Let me make this clear though, there was a lot of people hating on this move, and I just gotta come out and say it. I applaud Dwyane Wade, and I think if we were fathers, we'd all do the same thing. You want to do what's best for your son, or not what's best for him, but you want to give him a great life. If I have the opportunity to draft my son and I think he's decent at basketball, I'm going to do that. It's not like they drafted him with the 10th pick in the real NBA draft. We're talking about the G League. Some people thought it was a big deal. In my opinion, not that big of a deal. However, here's what is a big deal. If he does go to this G League team and he doesn't perform well, Dwyane Wade's going to get a lot of backlash. Or not really backlash, but everybody that was hating on Zaire saying he wasn't that good, they're going to come back in a year from now and say, I tried to tell you so. And guess what? We've made it to the best part of this video. It's time to be honest about Zaire Wade. In the G League for the Salt Lake City Stars, he is averaging 1.8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. No, you didn't mishear me, or no, you didn't misread that. Those numbers on the screen are correct. He's averaging 1.8 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Oh man. This is about to be interesting. Let's just take a look at a few tweets I found. There's thousands, but I'm going to pick out 2 or 3. Kevin said, he's small, skinny, and not very athletic. Best of luck though. Caleb said, something looks a little clunky about his game and I can't put my finger on it, but good for him, he's balling. Victor followed that up by saying, his whole game seems kinda clumsy. I think it might be his jump shot. It's pretty unique to say the least. His movements are sorta slow and, well, not very quick first step. Off of those 3 tweets alone, I don't think that's people hating on him. That's just them giving their honest opinion. And did you see the remedy and the storyline of those tweets? They all said he had a clumsy and clunky game. If you've never seen him play, it's hard to describe it, but clunky is almost the word I'd use. He does have that strange movement of his body on the court where he doesn't really look like a smooth basketball player. Whenever I evaluate a great basketball player, there's one thing I always look for in the point guard and shooting guard position, and that is, are they smooth? There's something about it, I'm sure some of you have seen a person like this in your life. Whenever there's a guy that's great, they just also make the game look so simple, therefore they look smooth on the court. One player that comes to my mind is LaMelo Ball. Ever since high school, he's just looked like a smooth player out there. In the past few years for him, he's also received a ton of hate because he hasn't done that good on the court, and when you're Dwyane Wade's son, that comes with it. What I'm about to tell you, it's not my honest opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the honest truth, and it's facts about Zaire Wade. I'm wishing him the best of luck. I hope he sees a lot of success, but it's just not going to be in basketball. Here's why. He's 6'3", but only 170 pounds. That is way too skinny, even at the high school level. He gets pushed around and knocked off his feet, and on the defensive side of the ball, you can take this how you want, he's a liability, and maybe more than that. He's not a good defender because people can back him down and bully him whenever they want to. To go on top of that, he doesn't have a great jump shot and he shoots the ball very low. One part about his game that I do like is he's a good ball handler and he's a good playmaker. He can make a lot of plays, but so can a lot of other hoopers. Heck, I can go to my Boys and Girls Club down the street and see a guy that can make plays. Let's take a look at his Instagram. I was scrolling through just on the past 6 to 8 pictures, and on all of his comments, he's always acting like people are rooting against him and he has all these haters. He's always writing some motivational comment, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't really understand where he's coming from. Like on this picture, for example, his caption was the underdog. The underdog, really, my man? You're not an underdog. You're an NBA legend's son. You're not an underdog. I don't know another way to say it. He also said this in an interview, and I found really interesting. I think a lot of people think that I'm not a hardworking kid and things get handed to me. If you don't know me, you can't say that. Nothing's handed to me. He may be hardworking, and I'm sure he is. I'm not taking that away from him, but to say nothing was handed to him, that's a straight up lie. Things have been handed to you throughout your entire life, and there's nothing wrong with that. I hate how people that come from money think there's something wrong with that. No, everybody should want to come from money. I've seen this around my local area. You have people out here who come from rich families, yet they're trying to act like they got it out the mud. I don't understand why you want to do that. Getting back on topic with Zaire, here's my final take and the last thing I'm going to say. He's always talking like he's this underdog, and he feels like he's an underdog because some people, they're saying, oh, he's not that great. And the harsh reality is, and I hate to say it, but it's the biggest truth, and he needs to hear this. They're not saying you're not a great basketball player and you're not going to make it to the NBA because you're not good. They're saying it because you're literally not going to make it to the NBA. He's not a good NBA talent, and he's not a good NBA prospect. There is thousands of other guys that get drafted before him. Could he and would he possibly make it to the NBA? Yeah, I'm sure. But the only reason that would happen is because of his dad. There's not a single thing about his game that doesn't stand out. I can go to my local YMCA or Boys and Girls Club down the street and find a guy who is just about as good as him. I understand some of you may think that's harsh, but here's my counter argument. Don't disrespect the NBA and don't disrespect the guys in it. A lot of people take for granted how hard it is to be in the NBA. Only 60 people get selected every year, and out of those 60, only about 30 are even on the team. You got to think about this. Sharif Cooper got selected like 40th or 45th, I believe, and he's on the G League team. Let me put it this way. If Sharif Cooper ain't good enough to be in the NBA right now, Zaire Wade is not even close. If you don't want to take my word for it, the numbers don't lie. He's only averaging 1.8 points per game, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. You can do what you want with that information. Let me know your thoughts down below. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you're new to the channel, what you doing? Join the family. Hit that subscribe button and leave a like for more. And as always, my peace.